Alright. Jerry Gossel, loveracing.com. I'm sitting here with John. Give us your last name, John.
Nunemaker.
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 Nunemaker. It's an A in the middle there. Okay.
No, it's an E.
E. Noonie.
But you sound it.
Nunemaker. It sounded as an A.
Right.
You're from Redmond, Oregon. And we've been sitting here for at least 10 minutes. John is an E9 out of the Navy, retired. And I'll give you a little information. John went in the Navy in 1946. I was born in 1945, so he's got a day on me. And he retired from the Navy in January of '69, which I do believe was about the time I got back from Vietnam. So we've had a couple sea stories going here. So give us a little of your history, John.
Well, I went through boot camp in '46.
San Diego.
And then electronics school on Treasure Island. Then from there to a destroyer for 3 years, and which we made 2 cruises to Japan and 1 up to Alaska. Then from there, I went on board an AVP. I went back to Treasure Island for shore duty, then to an AVP where I got to see Japan again and Hong Kong. Then from then I went to a 1.5 year duty there in Taiwan. Then from Taiwan back to Treasure Island again. And then from Treasure Island I went into the nuclear program.
The nuclear program.
Right. Up in Idaho. Out at A1W up in Idaho.
This is Idaho Falls.
Idaho Falls, right.
Arco area.
Right.
Out in the middle of the desert.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
And I got qualified there and got to stay there for instructor duty. Then from there, I went aboard the USS Long Beach and
Let's back up to this Idaho a little bit. Because my uncle was a machinist at Phillips back in them days. And there was a little problem one night you were telling me about on you were taking a bus ride out to the site. Let's cover that a little bit.
Well, that was it was a Saturday night going out on the graveyard shift.
About what year?
Must have been, let's see, 59, 60, had to have been in 1960, I believe.
Okay, I think, yep.
But anyway, just before we turned into the site there, this Army test reactor had blown up, and we got stopped out there at midnight before they wouldn't let us through. And I saw them haul those guys off to the hospital. Then, after I finished duty there, I went aboard the Long Beach, and I spent about 4 years there on the Long Beach, which was some of the best sea duty I've ever had. And out of Norfolk, and we spent 3 cruises in the Mediterranean and 1 round-the-world cruise at the end of the last Mediterranean cruise. Then I went back to Treasure Island for my twilight cruise. Spent 2 years there, then retired there in San Francisco.
And your retirement time, you had a choice to do what? Retire or?
Oh, the thing that decided me to retire was when I called in for a new assignment. They said, we've got a cruiser out there off Vietnam for you. And needless to say, I didn't relish that the least bit. But he says, we'd rather you put in your papers, so I did. And I retired.
Congratulations on a great Navy career, and you ended up E9,
Right.
which is Master Chief. sir. And I'm going back to Idaho a little bit because my uncle, like I said, was worked there. I believe it was Phillips. And he told me the story of this explosion. And Uncle Lloyd Zemke went in and retrieved this gentleman that was killed that day. And he has since passed. He lived in his 90s, so he was a little older than you, but he was there that day too. So John and I have just sit here and covered some bases that were pretty close to home. And I want to thank John, and I'll go get this put up on SmugMug and get it posted and send it to him so he can share it with his friends. And this is a great day, 2 old Navies. I ended up E5. They wanted me to be E6, and all I could see was going back to Vietnam, and I'd been there 67, 68, and 69, and I went, I've had enough of that place. And I want to thank John very much. Jerry Gossel, loveracing.com.
Now there.